there were no creepy guys hanging out down below. Hey sightseers, today is July 1st. We're quickly heading on to the 4th of July in the middle of summer here in Wisconsin, and it is hotter than a witch's you-know-what out here. It's like 90 degrees with high humidity. So Marty and I thought we'd go cool off by checking out 18-foot falls up here in Marinette County. It's a falls we haven't been to yet. And according to the sign, it has how much rugged terrain? 250 feet?
300 yards, that's 900 feet.
Okay, 900 feet, 350 yards, or 300 yards of rugged trail. I know I've mentioned this before, but Marinette County is considered the Waterfalls Capital of Wisconsin, being that it has so many of these little waterfalls along several different rivers, one of them being the Pike River, which I believe this waterfall that we are looking at today is part of the Pike River. And then there's several others. I'm not sure what all the rivers' names are. I know we've got the Peshtigo River up in this area. There's also the Menominee River, and there's another one that I can't pronounce properly because it is a Native American named river, but I believe those are the 4 rivers that causes or have waterfall attributes to them. Check this out. These holes in this birch are like symmetrical. I mean, do woodpeckers do that? Make symmetrical marks like that in the trees? I've never seen anything like that before. And what's interesting is it's in like different sections on the tree, and each section has symmetrical holes like that. Unless somebody was out here marking them for some reason. I don't know. If anybody has an idea, let me know in the comments section below. I love being out here in the woods, and right here is a dead pine, and oh, it smells so good. Has that real earthy, spicy pine scent, and not like pine sol pine, but just that real Christmas tree type smell, that fresh Christmas tree smell. That's why I like getting real Christmas trees, even though we've graduated to putting up a fake tree. Originally, I always got myself a real Christmas tree, and just that smell takes me back to those days of putting up a real tree. Down, you'll notice that the trail is real rocky, and I apologize, the sun is just like beating down overhead and is I think behind me right now, so you're getting my shadow in the camera. But it's all rocky in this area, which makes the terrain a little rough going as you're walking through here. Definitely want to have good walking or good hiking shoes on if you decide to come out here. Well, it looks like you have your choice between the moderate and the extreme trail. I'm thinking we'll start with the moderate, go check out the waterfall, and then come back and try our hand at the extreme trail. I don't know which way Marty went. I'm assuming he took the moderate trail, but you never know. Mr. I think I can do anything could be up exploring in the extreme section. Well, it looks like Marty's discovered some blueberry bushes, and he's familiar with these because he's picked these years ago up in the Northwoods. And you flip over and you can see this one's got one lonely little blueberry on it.
There's 2 ripe, not ripe ones right there.
This one's ripe.
Yep, we'll pick it. See if it's any good.
Well, I'm gonna try a blueberry, wild blueberry. Oh, that is good. Really good.
It's a blueberry, right? Not some poison berry.
Yes, it's
I was just guessing.
It's a blueberry, and it definitely tastes like blueberry, but way better than the ones you get in the store.
There's a bunch of bushes all through here. I don't know if you can distinguish them on camera, but there's probably 100 bushes right here.
Which is cool because we've been actually looking for places to pick blueberries up here in the North Woods, and now we know we have a secret spot, which of course won't be so super secret anymore once I post this vid to YouTube. But that's cool. You don't really see blueberry bushes like you used to in the past. I understand from talking to a few people that actually the forestry service has come through and leveled quite a few different blueberry patches, all in the name of clearing out some areas. And so I know from some of the locals, they aren't happy with that. But I'm not going to tell them where my super secret patch is. When I was a kid, my mom used to get this book from the library called Blueberries for Sal. So I've always wanted to be able to find wild blueberries, and today was the first day I've ever seen wild blueberries, so, or at least seen them and known what they are, because obviously Marty knew from years ago what they looked like. Well, this is really awesome. Reminds me of that book. Sal's hanging out in the blueberry patch eating their blueberries. Story goes, a bear shows up and she doesn't even know. That could be possible out here too. You never know. A black bear. We're real close to where we saw that black bear on our last waterfall expedition, and so it's possible there could be a black bear on the other side of these trees and I wouldn't even know it. There's Marty picking me some more blueberries. Getting my blueberry and antioxidant fix.
Maybe I should eat one.
I know one thing, between Marty's plant and berry identification and Boy Scout skills, if there's ever a zombie apocalypse, we won't have to worry. We'll be able to forage for food out in the forest. If you'll look, you'll notice they are super tiny, and that means they haven't been genetically modified, which means, Marty, they're going to be healthy and super good.
Another thing we found on the trail here is these wild strawberries. I mean, there isn't strawberries on it right now, but you can see where it had some on it at one time right here. Some of these around here might have some on them. I mean, it seems like the wild ones actually, from what I've seen, will get strawberries before like the garden grown ones. So he's probably already had them and they're done. So, but yeah, you can find them out here too.
And over here are blackberries starting. They're just green and they won't be ready for probably, what, a good month?
Yeah, a month or more. I'm surprised they're on there already, because normally, I think it was beginning of October when we normally pick them, when we find them.
Well, I'm thinking more in like August, September time frame.
Maybe that's what it was, but it was later in the season.
Yeah, blackberries are generally later in the season. So what's really cool is when you're out foraging out in the forest, depending on the time of year, will depend on what you can forage. And so like in spring, you've got the fiddleheads, which are basically the young baby ferns popping up out of the forest floor. And then it transitions into, then you've got your blueberries at this time of year. Strawberries, which are probably a little bit before the blueberries, or roughly about the same time. And then you've got your raspberries and your blackberries that come later in the summer. And so if you ever had to survive out in the woods, you could, based on the type of fruits that are growing, at least up here in northern Wisconsin. I don't know how it is in other states, but that's what I know for sure up here in the North Woods.
Just get ready for winter.
Yeah, get ready for winter and be like the squirrels. Pack your nuts.
Start hoarding.
Well, sounds like we're awfully close to the waterfall, and actually through the trees there, well, you'll see Marty, but you can also see the waterfall. Maybe you can't see it, but I can. It is blazing hot out here. Not getting that cool air conditioning effect like I did at the last waterfall, or the last couple of waterfalls. Well, the last waterfall adventure we went on, it wasn't even that warm out, and so I had on capris and a tank top. And the time before that, we went, and it was a little bit warmer, maybe not quite as warm as today. But when you were down by the waterfall, you had this natural cooling effect. Well, up here, because of the way the waterfall's going and being situated up on this rock, there's no cooling happening. Just sweating my old bejesus off. It's not quite as impressive either, I think, as Horseshoe Falls was, or Smalley Falls. They call this 18-foot falls, but I'm not exactly sure why, because it's definitely not no 18-foot drop. And I looked online before we came out, and nobody seems to know how or why these waterfalls got their names up here in Marinette County. If you look down here, you can see claw marks in the mud. So something was over here recently getting a drink. Possible that we scared it off. Not really sure what it was though, because you can't see any paw prints per se outlined in the mud. But whatever it was, has some nasty long claws.
Here, eat them.
I'm not eating those.
They taste good.
Yeah, right. Well, we took the trail down to the bottom of the falls, and there's this little spot where you can catch a view of the falls, or if you go over in this area, you can actually get in the water. Marty brought the pans along just to peck around. I think I'm gonna just dip my feet in now, take my shoes off and dip my feet in, cool off a bit while he's doing that. Does have black dirt, so it's or black sand, not black dirt. I meant black sand. So it is possible that there could be some gold here. Definitely see some sparkle in there. have to say that the water out here is relatively warm compared to some of the other waterfalls that we've been visiting. Thinking that a lot of the water coming into this river or this part has to be runoff because of how warm it is. Because normally you wouldn't expect to be this warm. Now granted, I know it's like 90 degrees, high humidity, and so it's going to feel refreshing, but it is not cold by any means out here whatsoever. It's just the perfect spot to hang out though. I mean, if you're into fishing, there's several little spots or little fishing nooks, if you want to call them that, off the river here that you can hang out and fish. Or like what we're doing, just kind of wade in and enjoy the water as long as you're far enough away from the falls, because obviously the closer you are to the falls, the more turbulent the water is, and safety must be most paramount in everybody's minds when you're dealing with water like that. What's nice too is this particular part of the Pike River has a nice sandy bottom, and although there are larger rocks and boulders in the riverbed, there are enough spots where you can make your way through without slipping and falling or busting up the bottoms of your feet. Marty's contemplating the meaning of life, or wishing I'd be done already because he's dying. The path coming down to the bottom of the falls is a little bit more treacherous than getting to the top of the falls, judging by the way this is. Thinking there's a lot of rain that comes through here and probably washed this trail out. Oh look, a deer was through here. That's the imprint of its hoof. So a deer must have came through probably shortly after it rained, because judging by how that's imprinted in there, that would be my guess anyways. In case you're not sure which way to go, there's a sign for ya. Alright, so now I'm going to go up the extreme way and test that path out and let you know how that went. Extreme? I don't know. You think I can make it up that? That looks pretty freaky. That was a piece of cake. Let me try coming down now. Alright, for anybody that's into serious mountain climbing or even is in good athletic condition, I'm thinking they're going to just laugh at that extreme sign, because it really was a piece of cake. Well, sightseers, as fun as that hike was, I think it's time we head home and cool off in the nice, refreshing air conditioning. Maybe we'll have to stop and get some ice cream along the way.
Special thanks goes out to all our fellow sightseers here on Patreon and PayPal. Without you, these videos wouldn't be possible.